No. I remember a specific Easter whose memory is still is still carved into the best parts of my brain. She blew in with the sound of a freight train on a mid-afternoon. I was teaching an upper level ski class at the basin. I dismissed the class so everybody could get off okay. I went up to the bar and had me a martini, and by the second drink everything was closed down. The pass was closed, the tunnel was closed, I-70 was off limits. I gave myself another martini, took over one of the empty clapboard motel-like rooms above the bar, and settled in for a good night's sleep. Next morning, still snowing, but not so hard. The road still closed. I got one of my friends, a snowcat driver, to take me up to the peak of the pass. Paid him off with a promise of a bottle of bourbon. After him, asked him to drive me a little further than the other, where there was yet another road down the mountain. Not the one that's paved and has 6 switchback turns. This one was first constructed in the late 1930s during the Roosevelt CCC period. There were 9 switchbacks, and it's still dirt and under snow. I didn't know who was mad at who at the time. It's an insanely steep and barely hangs on to the edge of the cliffs. This was okay with me. There was 2 feet of powder to help me control the turns. I put on my skis, adjusted my goggles, and flew down. I knew I had to hurry. The storm was ending with blue patches of sky, which were beginning to break open. How long before they opened I-70? Hit the last hairpin turn nicely, passed the Eisenhower Tunnel on the left, and still closed in onto the straightaway and out into the main highway. Past Loveland ski area on my left also, and then into the tuck, and then in that tuck, the interstate was flattening out in front. I had to get the speed up before I hit a slight rise above about a mile ahead of me. I got over the hump with 2 small trailers were parked, a rest place for the maintenance crew. Now into a deep tuck, all the rest was downhill. I took the do not enter side of the interstate. I thought it gave me a better angle. And then down the mountain I went, flying like an arrow. Ahead of me was pure white, no tracks, no snowplows, pure virgin snow. I took the do not enter off ramp at Georgetown, drove left, held bent out of leather, still in the tuck, went under the underpass and came to a gentle quarter snowplow stop in the Esso parking lot. There were lots of people, freely parked cars beside drivers and passengers milling about, waiting for the police to give the sign that the highway was about to open. I looked around with my head still tucked on the top of my knees, and suddenly I realized I was about to give my greatest performance ever, better than those concerts poles, using the pole tip to release the springs of my Nevada bindings, stepped off my skis, picked them up, and slapped their bottoms together like I was knocking off the snow, which is ridiculous since there was snow everywhere. But the clap's effect was the perfect touch. I now had a circle of people around me. I put my skis over my shoulder, turned, and began the slow walk in my blue high-kneed plastic ski boots across the just plowed intersection. I couldn't feel anything below my waist. Legs were pure jelly, but that didn't matter. Pride, and when on stage, it was everything. Behind me, I could hear the muffled clap of gloved hands. They all knew, they had seen me coming in full out tuck, hell bent for leather, turning under the do not enter sign. And then, as I passed under the shadows of the I-70 highway overpass, they knew I had come the 17 miles from the Arapahoe Peaks, nonstop, down to the Esso parking lot, just for them. As I dragged myself, skis on shoulder, poles now walking sticks, to the neon flashing, always open cafe. I thought this is a good time for a breakfast.